glad to have you with us. I'm Ron Rose, Executive Director of the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce, and this is Focus on Jensen Beach. We're bringing you our show today from the Island Reef restaurant on the beautiful Hutchinson Island here in Jensen Beach. Each week at this time, we will feature community leaders and discuss topics of local interest. We will focus on our business community and highlight events and news happening in the Jensen Beach, Hutchinson Island area. Focus on Jensen Beach is produced by TV16 in cooperation with the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate hearing from you, the viewers of the show, and we would like to receive your comments and give us some of your suggestions on what you would like to see here on Focus on Jensen Beach. During the show today, we will be talking to Mike Chasen, owner of the Island Reef restaurant and chairman of the Hutchinson Island Tourism Development Committee. We will also be talking to Brad Muller, owner of the Courtyard Marriott, and Bill O'Neill, general manager of the Courtyard Marriott. But first, we'll be discussing fundraising that's been taking place for the Jensen Beach Turtle Watch program. The fundraising this year has been headed up by Bob Woods, better known as Woody, and owner of one of the popular night spots here on Hutchinson Island, Shuckers 2. Woody, welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Ron, thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I think all of us are concerned in the community today, not only with the economy, but how we can contribute and put things back into the community, and as a whole, represent Hutchinson Island and Jensen Beach throughout Florida, Western Europe, and South America to sort of put us on the map. And all kinds of things environmentally, tourism committee like Mike's the head of, the hotel committees and so forth that we all are involved with, are all important segments of getting the whole picture fulfilled and in force.
Woody, I know Shuckers believes in community involvement, and you have been involved in so many different things like Hibiscus House and other nonprofit organizations in helping them raise funds. Why is Turtle Watch important to you in helping the Turtle Watch program in their fundraising efforts?
Well, the primary reason, in my thoughts, are education. And everybody is aware of all the environmental problems throughout the world. This happens to be the turtle capital of the world in the North America, in the Northern Hemisphere. And just on this island alone, which is from Stewart to Fort Pierce inlets, Hutchinson Island has over 5,000 nestings in the course of one turtle season. And we have to be conscious of that and make sure that the people are not terrorizing, making the turtles abort, and all that's through education. And our efforts through these fundraising is to work the Turtle Watch program, a non-for-profit corporation that is backed by the Jensen Chamber and run by Nelia Cole, to make sure that they're funded properly so we can run these programs and actually educate the people.
What kind of fundraising events have you held at Shuckers so far this season to raise money for?
Well, the last Memorial Day weekend, we had what we call a raft race, and everybody enters $10 for the raft race, and we have 25 rafts, and we have 2 days of events, so that was $500. Budweiser and Southern Eagle, they donated a couple kegs of beer, and we sold the beer on the beach, and the proceeds of that went. We also had some other people involved, Nelia and Ralph Goldman of Jensen Beach Animal Hospital and myself. We went out and raised $3,000 worth of contributed gifts and prizes, and we had an auction. That value was sold a little more than half of the value, so between that weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we raised close to $3,000.
That's great, and I know that it's really appreciated by the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Directors for your efforts in raising that money, because it takes about $8,000 to operate the program each year.
Yeah, it's close to $9,000 this year, and it runs through the middle or towards the end of July. And Applied Biology, that works with FP&L, also has some schooling. They handle ours. We handle ours quite differently. What you do is apply. You have a $5 fee. I think it's $2.50 for the children, and everybody meets at the Environmental Center in Jensen Beach. At that point, Nelia and her volunteer staff will put an education class, movies and brochures, and meanwhile there's other volunteers out on the beach actually trying to find a turtle that has started to nest. At that point, they'll phone it into the Environmental Center, they'll load everybody up on a bus, and quietly and the right way go up and approach the turtle and you can observe the turtle laying the eggs, and again, not disturbing it. The most important thing you can't do to a turtle is once it leaves the ocean, until it's set, if you disturb it, there's an 80% chance that turtle's going to turn around, be spooked, go back out in the ocean and abort. And it's just so subtle that can happen. And that's why the education classes and this $9,000 fund that we're trying to raise through contributions like FP&L, the Audubon Society, charitable things and programs like Shuckers does occasionally, and I know the Marriott and the Island Reef and the Holiday Inn and almost all the other members all contributed to this auction by putting in dinner for two or 10% off on tires or whatever it may be. So I thank the whole community. It wasn't just Shuckers, and it wasn't just the Turtle Watch people doing it. Everybody contributed to this, and that's what's important.
You know, last year you really made the news when you had an unexpected visitor on your beach. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about that and what happened?
Well, there are some endangered species, and the loggerhead is one of them. The loggerhead turtle happens to be the largest species, and she happened to come up on our beach about 4 feet from the dune line. She was about 4 feet wide, 7 feet long, and I'm not exaggerating. Her head had to be 10, 11 inches in diameter, and she weighed over 1,000 pounds. And they do grow to over 2,000 pounds, to give you an idea of the extent. Normally the green turtles and some of the other ones, they'll lay 250 eggs. The loggerhead, because of its size, will lay an egg about the size of an ostrich egg, about that big, and will only lay 60 to 70 of them. Where the green turtle or something like that is ping pong ball size, and they'll lay up to 250. And they still have a 60-day gestation period before they hatch.
Right, and that's an important thing to let our viewers know, is that the Turtle Watch program ends this year, July 18th, and that's when we have our last Turtle Watch walk. And really the season lasts up until I think September.
Well, that's because the eggs are still in the ground, ready to be hatched after 60 days. So if one is laying towards the middle or the end of July, you still have August and September before they're hatched. And technically, all the restrictions are in effect until October 31st.
Well, Woody, I want to thank you for being with us here on Focus on Jensen Beach. You've been a strong Board of Directors member for the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce, and you're always willing to help and get involved in the community and help raise funds for efforts like the Jensen Beach Turtle Watch program, and those efforts are definitely appreciated.
Ryan, thanks a lot.
All right. When we return, we'll be talking to Brad Muller and Bill O'Neill with the Courtyard Marriott here on Hutchinson Island, so don't go away.
What's the latest breakthrough in pest control technology? Tubes in the walls. Behind every wall of this new home, there's Pest Defense System. A special formula is injected into the tubes, and a pest-killing mist fills every space where bugs crawl. It's safe, too, for food, children, and pets. Ask for Tubes in the Walls by Pest Defense System, now the most effective pest protection you can get.
For children growing up, the world is fresh and new, with loving parents there to guide them and make difficult times easier. That's why thoughtful parents invest in a pre-need trust funeral plan. Makes sense financially, and it lessens everyone's pain at life's most difficult time. Call Acock Funeral Homes, serving the Treasure Coast with 4 locations, to explain their pre-arrangement plan. It's the most thoughtful thing you'll ever do.
Welcome back. We're here at the Island Reef restaurant on Hutchinson Island in Jensen Beach. And with me is Bill O'Neill, General Manager of the Marriott Courtyard, and Brad Muller, co-owner of the Marriott Courtyard, which is right next door here to the Island Reef restaurant here on Hutchinson Island. Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks, Ron.
Brad, during the last year, you all bought the Sheraton, what was called the Sheraton at that time, and you did extensive renovations, and you still have renovations to plan. And you decided to change the name to the Marriott Courtyard. Why did you choose that name?
Well, during our due diligence period when we were looking at this property, it was extremely apparent that the Sheraton had a very poor reputation in this area for a number of reasons. And we felt one of the most important things that we could do, along with actual management changes and the physical changes in the form of renovations, was to make that synonymous with a name change. And in selecting a name, the process, even though on the surface seems very simple, there's an awful lot to it because there's an awful lot of hotel product out there in the marketplace today. And the bottom line is very simple. The Marriott name is synonymous with the best product in hotel product in the market today. It's got the best name, and it's got the highest standards in the industry. And the product itself, the Courtyard product, is its middle-tier product. And in all of the hotel surveys and amongst not only business travelers but leisure travelers, it's actually the best price value out there in the industry today. And we felt that that would be the best fit for this marketplace.
All right, Bill, you're general manager here of the Courtyard Marriott, and why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your background?
Okay, I'm married and have a child, and in the hospitality industry, I started off in 1978 in a family restaurant up in the mountains of North Carolina. In the early 80s, I got into a franchise hotel company of which one of the senior vice presidents with Ocean Properties, who was part owners in this facility, is there today. So it goes back quite a bit. I was with a franchise that had predominantly Ramada hotels at that time, and then I went on to into some development with that company, and I also worked for a company that was a subsidiary of that franchise of renovating hotels nationwide. And more recently, as you may or may not know, I've been the general manager at the Radisson over here in Port St. Lucie.
I think a lot of people are familiar with you from that.
Right. So the same company owns the Radisson and the Days Inn in Port St. Lucie, Days Inn in Fort Pierce, and we've made a change here just recently in the last couple of weeks that I've moved over to here to this property.
Well, we welcome you to Jensen Beach.
Thanks, Ron.
What are some of the changes that have been made in the renovation of the building? I know you all had a grand opening last month, was it not? And it was probably the biggest party that's ever been thrown here on Hutchinson Island. It was absolutely fantastic. And a lot of people got to see the renovations at that time. What are some of the renovations that have taken place, and what are some of them that are planned?
Well, all the public areas have been totally renovated. We have marble in the lobby now. The front desk has actually been moved from where it was in the prior. All the conference rooms in the restaurants on the upper floor and the 8th floor have totally been renovated with new carpet, new paint, new fixtures, lighting fixtures. All the guest rooms totally renovated with new furniture and fixtures. Just totally a new rehab to come up to the Marriott standards.
And what do you have planned to still do?
In the future, we still have a number of things. We have to put a jacuzzi in right here by the pool. We are going to paint the exterior of the building to go along with the landscaping that we've already done, and some more additional things.
What kind of service can the community expect now from the Marriott?
Well, we serve breakfast every morning on the 8th floor, which is a tremendous panoramic view of the area, of both the river and the ocean. And then for lunch and dinner, we have an agreement here with the Island Reef that our customers can come over here and eat and get the same fine quality of service and charge it to their rooms. So it's an extension of the hotel.
Right. Now up on the 8th floor, you have expanded the banquet facilities up there, and you really can hold small conventions right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've moved some walls and some outlets and electrical and things of that nature, and we're in the process right now of getting together a real fine banquet staff, and we're ready to handle the most elaborate wedding in the area.
Well, now, for some of the viewers out there that are members of organizations or clubs that have meetings or annual meetings, and how large of a group can you handle?
For sit-down dinner, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 sit-down.
That's great.
Yeah, and then for classroom style, obviously it can increase.
Right. Brad, you know, Ocean Properties and your dad and you are co-owners of this Marriott Courtyard. What is your respective roles in this? And tell us about all the other properties you all own.
Well, we've done some joint ventures over the last number of years with Ocean Properties. On the local neighborhood, we purchased the Radisson, and we as Bill was saying, the Radisson here in Port St. Lucie, as well as the Days Inn in Fort Pierce. That's all been over the last couple of months. OPL has approximately 45 hotels now throughout the north, northeast, southeast, and west, as well as the Bahamas, and they are actually the management arm of the group with regards to these hotels up in this area, as well as the others, and that's pretty much the situation.
Well, I haven't known you for a very long time, but I can tell our viewers and the people in the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce that you're very, very community-minded, and that you've been very active in the chamber, and we really appreciate the fact that you're here on the island. What are some, as far as tourism goes, what are some of the things that you all have planned to help bring more tourism to the area? I know you're all interested in the foreign visitor. What do you have planned in that area?
Well, we've done, we have an extensive marketing arm, especially because of the number of hotels that we actually have. And as such, we have really no bounds. We've been to Europe quite a number of times for all of the major shows, and so we've been promoting both European business as well as business throughout from different areas in the U.S. as well as the local markets. The European business is very, very good business, and it travels differently than the local markets or the American markets do, in that they're more summer-oriented, and of course the U.S. is more winter-oriented.
Right. Well, listen, I want to thank you all for being on Focus on Jensen Beach. We really welcome the Marriott Courtyard to the Jensen Beach community and here on Hutchinson Island. But I want to remind our viewers and the people that watch this show is that Marriott is a great opportunity for a weekend getaway. They have a lot. It's a beautiful ocean out here. It's great service, and it's reasonably priced. And it's a great opportunity just to get away from the weekend right in your own backyard. Again, thank you for being on Focus on Jensen Beach.
Ron, thanks. But you know, first I'd really like to thank you personally, as well as the entire chamber, for being so helpful in welcoming us to the community, and personally of being such a great help to us in coming into this area.
Well, thank you a lot, Brad. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it a lot.
When we return, we'll be talking to Mike Chasen of the Hutchinson Island Tourism Development Committee about more about tourism here on Hutchinson Island. So don't go away.
Hi-ho, Mr. Comparison here on safari with Tri-County Gas, searching for the energy savings you'll find when you dare to compare.
It starts here. Cook 2 meals compared to 1 cooked with electricity.
Heat 2 gallons of water compared to 1 with electricity. Oh, pardon me, ma'am. Convenient outdoor cooking. And nothing heats your pool or spa as fast as propane gas. Stop by our showroom to see the Treasure Coast's largest and most complete line of gas appliances.
Welcome back. We're here at the Island Reef Restaurant on Hutchinson Island. Is with me is co-owner of the Island Reef Restaurant, Mike Chasen. Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Good morning.
You really have a beautiful facility here, and we want to thank you for letting us have the show here today.
It's definitely our pleasure to have you here.
You are, besides being co-owner here of the Island Reef Restaurant, you're very active in promoting tourism on this island, and you're chairman of the Hutchinson Island Tourism Development Committee. Could you tell us a little bit about what that committee is all about and how it got started?
Well, the committee got started a little over a year and a half ago, and it was really brought together and influenced primarily by the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce. And along with the chamber, 5 or 6 other businesses out on the island got together and started talking about ways that we could promote, for everyone's benefit, tourism on Hutchinson Island. And one thing led to another, and 4 people turned into 10 people, and 10 people's now into 43 businesses that are involved in the project. And basically the concept is that of pooling our resources, our advertising dollars and our thought processes to come up with projects that will benefit all the businesses on Hutchinson Island.
What are some of the group's goals?
Well, the first goal, obviously, is to have recognition that when people say Hutchinson Island, they know where it's located. We found that you get as close to as Jupiter. People in Jupiter don't know where Hutchinson Island is, and obviously if you go north, people don't know where this is. So the first things that we've started to try to do are to get name recognition through billboards on the turnpike talking about Hutchinson Island and giving directions to Hutchinson Island. Other projects that we're working on are brochures that can be put in the tourist racks at the various welcome stations throughout the state that talk about Hutchinson Island and describe what the activities are here that are available to people.
Now, you just recently had a familiarization tour. You want to tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Well, what we did is that we invited 50 travel agencies from the South Florida area who deal primarily with travel agents in South America and in Europe. And how they work is that the travel agents in the foreign countries will call these agents and ask them to put together tour packages for people from these countries. And what we do is we invite these travel agents up, and they'll stay at the various hotels on the island, and they'll eat at the various restaurants, and they'll go out in fishing boats and diving and swimming, water skiing, all the different sports that we are available to people here on Hutchinson Island to familiarize them with the facilities that we have. And we found this is the second time we've done it, that it's been a very rewarding thing. We've got a lot of people who have come back through these tour programs.
Now, the membership to this, to the Hutchinson Island Tourism Committee is not just exclusive to Hutchinson Island businesses. Tell our viewers a little bit about if they have businesses or they'd like to be involved in this project, what do they do?
Well, obviously you can contact me or any of the businesses out here on the island with regards to membership. But you're quite right, we have a lot of businesses that aren't even located on the island who see the benefit of promoting Hutchinson Island. People come here by whatever means they come by, but they end up generally driving out to the island, and they have to come through the communities of Fort Pierce and Stewart and Port St. Lucie, and in doing so they may buy a home there, or they may frequent all different kinds of businesses within those communities. So a lot of the businesses that aren't located on the island see the benefit of promoting Hutchinson Island.
Now, besides promoting tourism, we also like to promote Hutchinson Island to the community around here and encourage a lot of those people to come out here and have dinner here at the Island Reef restaurant. We talked to Brad and Bill earlier and encourage them to possibly stay a weekend getaway, spend the weekend here. It's a real affordable area to come, and it's right in everybody's backyard.
Well, the benefit that we try to project to the residents of the surrounding area is that if you decide to take a vacation in South Florida, and let's say you want to go to Key West or Daytona Beach or over to the West Coast, you have to get in your car and travel 2 or 3 hours to go there and 2 or 3 hours to come back. And that's 6 hours of your vacation that you can come right out here to Hutchinson Island and have the same types of facilities and get the same benefits that you would in going to these other areas and be a lot closer to home.
Well, I will say that on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and the business community of Jensen Beach, your leadership in forging tourism to the forefront on this island and this community is well received and well appreciated.
Well, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of very active people in this organization, and we've up to 43 members now, and so it's not just one person doing this by any means, but thank you for the compliment.
Well, listen, thank you for being on Focus on Jensen Beach.
Thank you very much.
Now, you all stay tuned now because we're going to show you some of this week's new members.
Hi-ho, Mr. Comparison here on safari with Tri-County Gas, searching for the energy savings you'll find when you dare to compare.
It starts here. Cook 2 meals compared to 1 cooked with electricity.
Heat 2 gallons of water compared to 1 with electricity. Oh, pardon me, ma'am. Convenient outdoor cooking. And nothing heats your pool or spa as fast as propane gas. Stop by our showroom to see the Treasure Coast's largest and most complete line of gas appliances.
For children growing up, the world is fresh and new, with loving parents there to guide them and make difficult times easier. That's why thoughtful parents invest in a pre-need trust funeral plan. Makes sense financially, and it lessens everyone's pain at life's most difficult time. Call Acock Funeral Homes, serving the Treasure Coast with 4 locations, to explain their pre-arrangement plan. It's the most thoughtful thing you'll ever do.
What's the latest breakthrough in pest control technology? Tubes in the walls. Behind every wall of this new home, there's Pest Defense System. A special formula is injected into the tubes, and a pest-killing mist fills every space where bugs crawl. It's safe, too, for food, children, and pets. Ask for Tubes in the Walls by Pest Defense System, now the most effective pest protection you can get.
Well, that concludes our show today from Island Reef Restaurant on Hutchinson Island here in Jensen Beach. We want to take this opportunity to thank Island Reef for having us here today. Next week, we'll be back in the studio, and we'll be talking to Rob Maitland of Great Western Bank and Joe and Dorothy Rybowski of Village Cobbler Shoe Repair Shop in Jensen Beach, who are moving their shop from Old Jensen Village to the Ocean Breeze Plaza. So make sure you watch our show next week. And I wanted to say before we close out today, if you would like to call the station at 692-0056 and let them know how much you appreciate this television show, drop the letters or call the Chamber of Commerce at 334-3444. We really would appreciate your input. Thank you again. Good day.